Okay, we're live. We're going to go over the week one. Now the preseason's over. Thankfully, Stephen and I hopefully will go over week one picks of the 2024 season. It is 10 o'clock, 8/24, 2024. So let me invite Stephen in here, play an intro, and I'll be right back. I think. I'm not looking forward to this football season because I do not want summer to end here. But it All right, so here we are. I'm going to try to do this here. Hold on a second. Very good. For anybody that cares about preseason, I'll run down some scores here. The Giants are losing to the Jets. It's the fourth quarter, 10-6. Cleveland and Seattle's on tonight. Indianapolis beat Cincinnati. Chicago beat Kansas City. Jacksonville beat Atlanta. Tampa Bay beat Miami. And there's a tie in San Francisco and Las Vegas. Unbelievable. Buffalo lost to Carolina. Green Bay slaughtered Baltimore. Houston. Let's see if my buddy's here. There he is.
Dad.
What's going on, buddy?
Dad, I had the Raiders to beat the fucking 49ers.
It's a tie.
No, listen. I had them to beat them, and the odds were really high, so I would have won like $25 on like a $3 bet.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, and I did it. And they came all the way back, and it was a tie.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable. I lost. They gave me my money back because I took them to win, so that's good.
Well, that's good.
But they were winning. They were supposed to win. They had it.
Yeah. No, this is what happened. They said, "Oh, Steven bet." So,
yeah, no, exactly.
Let's call it a game.
You remember when I told you we lost $800 last year because Dan Campbell went for it on fourth down?
Yeah.
That was awful. We lost $800.
Time out.
Yeah. You know what the best part is? Like even the broadcasters thought they were kicking the field goal, so like they didn't even the cameras had no idea the play was going on. It was one of those where it got skipped, and all of a sudden the guy's in the end zone.
Do you think anybody watches preseason football?
Well, like I said, I lost some money on it the other night, so you know what? You know what it is like with the betting? I like that I watch the preseason games. Like there's a lot of like random like, oh yeah, what about that guy's, trying to make a roster. It's kind of cool to like force yourself to watch it because you're like, oh yeah, that guy.
I think it's been different. I think that over the years, preseason has become more. I don't know, maybe like more of an entertainment thing because I don't really think they do much in the preseason. Like, years ago they used to run scrimmages and stuff against other teams to see where they're at as far as like personnel and playbooks and stuff like that. But these days here, I think it's just an entertainment thing, honestly. But who knows? I don't know.
I think the league, okay, I think before it was fun because you knew that your starters were going to play at least a half in the third game, right?
Right.
So it was like, okay, at least you got that out of the preseason. But now that they took away that one preseason game, like these teams aren't really playing all their guys at the same time. Like they don't have like a routine like that. So
Right.
it's like, oh, this team is starting their starters for two, and then it's like this guy, but these guys aren't playing theirs. But then, so you don't really know like when to watch, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, in terms of real football fans, like the preseason is the worst.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
I
almost
would
as
rather
bad as the
watch-
Hall of Fame game.
I would
Right.
rather watch women's basketball
Bowling.
than watch the preseason.
Bowling for dollars.
Fucking paint dry than watch the preseason.
It's really
painful.
bad.
Well, it's because like you're so excited for football, and it's just not. It's just not that. But like I said, when you really force yourself to sit down and watch, like it's to me, it's cool to see like Josh Dobbs. He had a good year last year for Arizona. Like he was, kind of fighting, and they kept Arizona in some games last year, and now he's the third string guy in San Fran. So
Right.
it's like it's funny how guys like that end up in weird situations where they all of a sudden end up on a big team.
This is the problem, right? If you're a coach, say you're like a new NFL coach, right? Just new into the league, you're expecting a lot of things that fans, basically are expecting a lot of things from you, and you play your starters in like preseason game 1, 2, or 3, and then your quarterback gets hurt. That's devastating to your career. Like that's that's
Yeah,
not
but
gonna
it
go.
goes. But what if I think there's also ways where like okay, if you do get a couple snaps in the preseason and you get ready, maybe that prepares you to not get injured in the first game. where
Right.
you
Yeah, I mean
can't
that's
step or
true
too slow.
too.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean I get it. I'm just saying like I think maybe a lot of times, like I said, like now that there's like okay, like one team will start their starters in week 1, like that team will be playing against like second, third guys who don't really know what to do. So then the game is awkward and you get injured. Where back in the day, you knew you were playing against other starters. So those guys knew how to play a little better and there weren't as many injuries in the preseason. I think that.
Yeah, I think the rosters are bigger these days too. Not sure. They have a 60-man roster, but they also have like a another complete team that's just like a practice team, right? I don't know if they've
Right.
always had that.
Right.
Kind of like
I mean-
baseball with the farm team. They have kind of like a practice squad because
Right.
a lot of guys get called up from that.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
just
man.
boring. I just don't find preseason football to be entertaining at all. And I used to. Maybe it's because I'm just not into football like that anymore. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm having fun gambling. I was gonna say, should I throw a lot of money on the Browns? And then I was like, you should never throw any money on the Browns.
Right. Right. Good call.
Yeah. Stay away from the Browns and stay away from the Jets.
And the Steelers.
Yes. And the
I should
Dolphins.
just put in now all season, like, any team that Pittsburgh plays, I'm picking the other team. Like, because I always do
Right.
anyways. But just to let you know that even if Pittsburgh was playing, say, the women's basketball team that nobody cares about, they're going to lose. They're
Right.
They're not. A bunch of Haleys running around, picking Haley. The Hegley.
It's just like I feel like the Steelers are one of the most annoying teams in the league because like they just never
think?
they're gonna be there, but like they're not gonna go. So it's just like a waste of a team,
I had a big fight with I decided to go on to like a Pittsburgh only YouTube channel,
Yep.
and reading the chat, like all these people are so excited about the season with Mike Tomlin and I've always been the type of person that even if my team stinks, I'm not going to sit there and say how great they are. Like people were like, you have no faith in your team. I'm like, dude, how can you have any faith in this team? Right? They suck. They're awful. They're really bad. They have no offensive line whatsoever. and they just extended Mike Tomlin for another 4 years. So we're gonna suck. Okay, it's not gonna be good. You're a fair weather fan. No, I'm not. I'm actually a realistic fan. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine if you were a Washington fan or a Jets fan? Like every year, like even now with the Cowboys, like every year they're going to the Super Bowl. Up, no, they're not. It's not happening. Not gonna happen.
I don't know. Would you rather be your team or would you rather be the Patriots right now?
Well, I don't know.
Well, that's the problem. It's like
Probably.
you're not bad. You're
This-
mediocre.
this-
There's a difference. Like I said, like there's a difference between being bad. You know, you guys are good. You guys always win 8, 9 games every single year. But like that's the thing. Would you rather be that for 10 more years?
We're in the
or
worst
have-
position. We're in
Right. Would you rather have a bad, like really bad
the
couple
worst
years
position
and get
to be in.
and get a
Good
pick?
God.
You know? And that's the
Like,
thing in the NFL. If you don't
Being a
have the
good
guys
bad
that
is
are gonna
probably the
win-
worst.
What?
It's like being a good bad these days in the NFL is really bad. Like if you're not even lining yourself up for a draft pick. You're good enough to screw yourself out of any potential. That's a-
Right. I don't know though,
They've
but
been
then
saying
you,
all along.
then you go into that realm of like, well, if you go the way of like, okay, let's blow it all up, let's go to the bottom of the league, you like run the risk of becoming the Browns for 10 years, and you know, like
Yeah,
that's
no, we
like
can't do that either.
that's the worst. Like that's the worst place we want to be in. Like
This is what happens with me every single year. I tell myself that I'm not going to watch them, not going to watch them, not going to. Then all of a sudden they win like 4 in a row, and then I'm like, oh, then it's
Right.
bad. It's really bad.
no, I know that, and that's the thing with you guys. You normally pull away 1 year, like that's your thing. You'll go to the Super Bowl 1 year, but trust me, I'm no stranger to that kind of thing. The Dolphins have been that way forever. Fucking stuck in the middle.
I mean, I honestly think outside of Kansas City, it's up for grabs. I mean, you have divisions where that's why I think Miami can do really good this year because. Come on.
Have the dogs been out?
No, I'm going to let Seljuk out fairly shortly. I didn't want to let him out because they've been out here with the fire.
Keep an eye on him. Let me know if he doesn't drink or eat or throws up or something.
Okay. You can let him out. Can you give him to me? I'll let him out. Never mind then. Damage control all day. Huh.
I won't make a comment. I won't make a comment.
Hold on, I gotta let the fucking stupid dog out. All right, calm down. Come on. All right.
I am.
Yes, they're now in. I just didn't want them out here when they were out because all he could do was bark. Sorry, I love you. Don't you hate dogs?
I said I wasn't going to make the comment, but yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Gotta love them.
And the problem is we have 2 new dogs next door.
Dogs are great.
Yeah, they're great dead.
Is Sheba dead?
She was, dude. You were right when you said dogs are. You know, when people say dogs are loyal, just open the door and let them go. They'll never come back. It's a
Yeah,
crazy thing, man. I don't know what happened with animals, but people are just so like in love with animals these days.
It's very strange.
If you lit yourself on fire and you know, a spark kind of landed on the dog, they would save the dog first. You would
100%.
dead.
100%. It's it's all fun. So
Where's Amber?
she's at work.
Oh, good.
She Yeah, she's at work till 12. I mean, like I said, I wasn't sure. I know we said we wanted to talk again on Sunday, but I have my draft tomorrow night. So yeah, I don't know if you just wanted to go over like the rules. What I did have one more thing I wanted to bring up. But like I said, do you want to actually do the picks now? I mean, we can always change them, or do you want to wait? Do you want to wait closer to the thing to do them? You want to do them now?
Oh, we can do them now.
Yeah, that's fine.
I got till 1 and then or 12:30. Then I got to do my normal live. But yeah, we can do them now because I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. And our luck, we won't be able to do another live until football season starts. So
right. Yeah, no, it's better to just get my. Plus, like, if you want to change them, it's no big deal. But fucking yeah.
Did you see the new kickoff rules?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. They said
dumb.
It looks weird. It definitely looks weird.
It's almost like they're turning it into a soccer league. It's so weird.
Hey, if that's gonna help them not become extinct, I think there's more like big hits on punts than there are kickoffs. Like the kickoffs always go through the end zone anyway.
Right. Yeah, punts are a little bit more important than kickoffs because a punt, you can't just let the ball go.
I just feel like those are the ones where people really come off on stretchers a lot, with bad neck injury. But you can't just change the punt. Like that's too much of like an NFL play.
Right.
Than the other thing. So maybe that's why they're going the other way, but
that's what we should do every single series on offense, just punt. Just get out there and punt.
Right on first down, yep. No, I think it's definitely weird, but they're saying that they're not going to show anything and that all these guys have like things planned or whatever. So I don't think I've really been able to see it with the preseason. But
yeah, no, preseason is just it's just a bunch of guys out there. I don't know.
They're saying that they're going to be able to like set up in formations and like pull guards and do like traps and because it's basically like a line of scrimmage almost now. So they're saying that they're going to have like running back type guys back there now to be able to like create holes and it's going to be different. So I think it's going to end up with too many touchdowns if that's the case.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is get the onside kick to be a little bit more generous to the kicking team. I mean, some of the rules they had before with the onside kick, there's just no way you were going to get one. So maybe they're doing it.
No, I don't think you could. It goes back to the original formation when it comes to the thing. You have to you can't do a fake on or what's it called? A surprise onside kick. You have to tell the ref, and then it goes back to the original thing, I believe.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I know it's going to look weird, and I know if it doesn't go well, people are going to hate it. And the NFL, I think they're smart, though. They're doing this thing where they'll try something for a year and then take it out. So, I don't know. I think it's hard to really tell because nobody's really doing that.
Just fire everybody and start all over again. That's what I think they should do.
I think Goodell. I think there's a lot of other things they could be doing in the league right now.
I'm actually more excited about basketball season this year than I am at football season because maybe that's because I know my team's going to suck. But
you guys are going to have 8 wins, and you guys are probably going to piss somebody off. I don't know. Like maybe that is the thing. Maybe you should root for like a 2-win season so Tomlin will get his ass fired.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying in the chat.
Like that's the best bet. But that's the thing. Like I said, would you rather win 8 or 9 games, or would you rather win 2 and then be stuck there for 10 years? So
the problem is, I think we forfeited all of our picks for Justin Fields, so I don't even think we have that anymore. Plus, we have to pay T.J. Watt $6 billion for the next 4 years, and he's probably going to play 2 games this year and then be hurt. So.
You guys are it's a weird year. You guys, I feel like you guys haven't drafted as well as you normally have, and that's making you guys do some weird things through free agency. You know, you guys don't have like Pickens isn't living up to the stereotypical Steelers draft pick. Like Harris really isn't living up to that stereotypical.
That's because he doesn't have anybody to get him the football.
Yeah, I guess so. You think so? I don't. You like Pickens? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no. You guys don't have no Le'Veon Bell right now. You don't have an. You know.
I think Pickens is the best wide receiver we've had in a decade.
You really
do.
like him.
I think he's that talented. I just don't think there's anybody to get him the football.
Interesting. I think he's really good too. I think he's just kind of a head case. I mean,
I think T.J. Watt is the most overrated football player in all of sports. That's just my
I
opinion.
don't know, man. 22? He's trying to break the record for sacks. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but sacks are great, but when you get somebody running by you all the time,
I don't think it's
the
his
running game.
Yeah, I don't know how he's in the run game, but I feel like there's nobody else. Or like, what the hell is going on with Minka Fitzpatrick? He's supposed to be a stud. What the hell? Like, you guys don't have
He's 100.
like.
We have
I don't
nobody
know.
that can
Who else
stop
do you have?
anybody. We have no cornerbacks. We have nothing. We have Zippo.
Right, because you got that good year from Patrick Peterson, but he's old and washed now.
That's
So it's
awful.
like, I don't know. I know that, like, I always say this, like, at least you guys have won a Super Bowl, man. We're still dead. Let me say this again. I'm blind. The Dolphins have the longest playoff win drought in the entire NFL. We haven't won a playoff game in 22 years.
Didn't you guys win one last year?
Nope. We have the longest drought. It was the Lions, but they won one, so now we hold the longest drought in the NFL for winning a playoff game. We are now.
Well, to give you guys a little bit of credit, I mean, you did have to play through like a 20-year dynasty, right, with the Patriots, and I don't think anybody beat the Patriots more than the Dolphins did.
Yeah, but I don't know. We
and
did
now
make
it
the
seems
playoffs a couple times. I don't know. I think it's pathetic. I think that like you're right for not really having hope, but like I'm really right for having no. I until I see them win a playoff game, I can't take them seriously. I can't because
I think they're gonna. I think you're gonna take the division this year. I really do. I'm picking them to take the division. It's either gonna be them or. See, I don't really have a lot of faith in Buffalo this year. I did last year in the past couple of years, but
it's weird because the Bills got rid of all of their defensive players,
Yeah.
and the Dolphins got rid of all our defensive players. So it's a complete reshuffle, So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. Which team is going to – I think that's the best thing for us because we get some of those faces out of there that we couldn't beat before,
Yeah, but
The
I think the
Bills
system is still good there. The system is, the system's working. They just got to get, they just got to get one win under their belt. They got to go on the road and beat a really good team this year.
I don't know,
Just let
man.
everybody
We
the
have
hell
a
up.
first year. We have a first year defensive coordinator. Vic Fangio is gone, so we have a guy. We have the defensive line coach for the fucking Ravens as our first time ever defensive coordinator.
I don't know. I'm picking them to win that division.
I
But
know you want them to win so bad for me, Dad, but I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. We're going to go 5-11. If we get smoked by Buffalo, I'm telling you, it's going to be a long season.
I'm telling you, this year's a little different because the last few years you've had, you knew Cincinnati was going to do good. You knew Buffalo was going to do good. You knew Baltimore was going to do good. This year here, it seems like it's Kansas City and everybody else. It's you run down the divisions. The Jets, the Jets are to me the only team in that division that if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, they got a chance. But Miami always beats the Jets. It's weird.
You know what's interesting though is I wonder if he comes back and he plays well, how well he plays when he comes back, Rodgers, because he didn't play that great in his last year. They missed the playoffs in his last year in Green Bay.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think he's going to be like. I don't think he got his feelings hurt when Tom Brady beat him. I'm telling you right now. He just, he's a good quarterback. I'm not going to knock his technique and stuff like that, but he's overrated too. I think he's not a gamer. He's just not.
I feel like all these guys, they think he's going to come back and be the same Aaron Rodgers. It's just look at Deshaun Watson. I think it's not, when you take a year off from football, these athletes are so big and so fast every single year. It's hard to get back into it and stay healthy.
Well, Cleveland's problem is they can't keep what's his face healthy, the running back. I mean, they have a great team. I mean, how do you not win with that defense? They got what's his face? He's just really good. unbelievable.
It's just like I said, Watson, he's having a hard time coming back and getting adjusted to the NFL after missing a year and a half, It's hard to do. You can't just like it happened to Le'Veon. Le'Veon Bell was one of the best running backs in the league. You can't just take a year off in the NFL and think that everything's going to be fine. Like you're old, it's you're a year older. The whole team is, advanced a year coaching wise, everything. And you just, I have a hard time thinking when you're in a holdout, you're very dialed into what the hell's going on in the field. It's not like you're in the coach's box listening to everything that's going on. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's the thing but I wouldn't count him out. Aaron Rodgers beats us. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I just don't think I'm just starting to realize like, yeah, he might not be the best when he comes back.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Miami. It's going to be Miami, probably winning the division. You got the Jets and Buffalo fighting for second, then New England dead last. That's how I see that division going.
The fucking Patriots.
Yeah.
Nobody has any idea what's going on over there.
Nobody. Zippo.
They were just pissed and fired Belichick, and nobody knew what to do. Everyone was like, okay, what do we do now? They don't even have a GM. They have an interim GM.
Yeah.
In like the biggest year in their franchise's history.
Look, if the Patriots go 0-11 or 0 whatever this year, I could care less. It's not like I hate the Patriots. I just, they had the greatest quarterback in history, period. That's it. That was their thing. Bill Belichick is overrated. The whole team was overrated. All of them.
I don't know. I think the disrespect on Belichick's name is getting a little.
Look at what he did. He went to the NFC, right?
Yeah.
And then he just annihilated everybody in the NFC for
Yeah, it was funny. Like I'm saying, I think that's true, but I think two things could be the same. I think, is Belichick stubborn as shit? Yeah. But is he not? Is he like the disrespect he's getting in is a little over exaggerated? I don't know. He's a good coach. I think he is.
I remember that year when New Orleans beat Tampa Bay like twice in the regular season, and everybody was like, "Oh, we're going to beat Tom Brady in the playoffs." I'm like, "No, you're not. That's not going to happen."
He went in as a 5 seed. It was like his first time ever being on a road playoff game.
San Diego said that too, and look what happened to them. It's like, I'll tell you right now, now that Tom Brady is not playing football anymore, I can literally stick up for the guy now because he's not playing. He's not beating us anymore. He's the greatest quarterback ever. I mean, this guy, Jesus.
What do you think, though? You think Mahomes has a chance to beat him?
I think the team does. Yeah, I think they got a really good chance this year to win the third one. If they do that, if they win 3 in a row, that would say something because nobody's ever done that.
Because Mahomes needs something like that because Brady beat him twice.
Yeah.
So he needs something like super crazy like that to how to do it. I don't know. I think it's just really hard to repeat in the NFL. Like, I don't know. The NFL doesn't really work that way. I don't see. But if the Chiefs win this year, I'm going to be pissed. It's like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
Enough.
Well, if they win 3 in a row, that has to say something because nobody's ever done that before. I mean, that's and you had some really good teams, San Francisco, you had the Patriots, us. Nobody's ever won three Super Bowls in a row.
They're getting pretty good competition in the Super Bowl too. I feel like. I mean, the Niners played them pretty good last year, brought it to overtime. The Eagles played them really tough too. I don't think they're not really like on the way there. Yeah, they might be getting some layups, but how many times did we say that about the Patriots too? Right, like once they got to the Super Bowl, it seemed like they had trouble getting over some teams. But when you got a quarterback like Tom Brady, man, the big thing about Brady is I don't know how he lost 2 to the Giants. It's like, wow. It's like the biggest. It's like the 8th wonder of the world. Yeah, I have no idea how that happened. Eli Manning. It's just his face in the storybooks. 8th wonder of the world. He can always say that. He can always that guy can always say that he beat Tom Brady twice. Did you watch any of the roast that I told you about? No, I've been busy. I've been working on a freaking car and dealing with. Just watch a clip of it on YouTube, Dad. That's all you need. It's hilarious. They go off. And Eli Manning was like, "Nah, I'll stay out of this. I can really lean into it a little bit." Yeah.
I mean,
Fucking
even Peyton Manning didn't have the success against New England that his brother did, and nobody
Right.
ever saw that coming.
That at the roast, fucking Ron Burgundy was there.
Oh no, I gotta
Yep.
watch that.
Yeah, he roasted him as Ron Burgundy. His wasn't as good as the other comedian, like the real stand-up comedians that were there, but it was funny.
Did you make
So-
your Super Bowl pick yet?
Not yet. I'm probably gonna bleed this one right down to the wire. I'm done fucking around with losing these Super Bowl things. I've had enough.
The Super Bowl is tough, man, because you never know. Like this year's a little different because we know, Kansas City's going to be pretty good. Other than that,
You know who I picked last year?
no.
Miami and Minnesota. I'm a fucking idiot. I've
Well, I
been
think
so
everybody
bad at
picked-
these. I've been so bad at these fucking Super Bowl matchups.
Didn't
man.
everybody pick Minnesota? Minnesota's been another one of those Washington teams. Like everybody picks them every year, and they don't do anything.
It's just Kirk Cousins is so weird. He's such a great quarterback. He's like one of those great quarterbacks in the regular season, and then postseason he doesn't know how to. He can't even fucking put his.
It's
Put a
so
helmet
weird,
on.
isn't it? It's so weird. I said the same thing about Phillip Rivers. It's just, some of
Yeah,
these
that's a good
quarterbacks-
comp. That's a good comp.
But I'm telling you, the Patriots destroyed everybody in the playoffs, man. It's just.
But I mean, if you're gonna ask me my Super Bowl matchup now, I'd probably go Bengals Packers, but I think that's gonna change.
Yeah, I almost picked the Packers. Almost did it, but I don't know. Detroit's been so bad for so long. I just see them. They got a really good team, I think.
Well, they
But-
have a little wild card because normally those guys leave for coaching jobs, and he almost left the offensive coordinator, and he stayed like last minute.
Yeah,
he
it's
ha-
weird.
Normally that's what happens to those teams is all their coordinators leave, and then they're not as good.
Right.
So I think that's like a little wild card for them, a little boost to like the camaraderie of the building. The Lions are interesting. Who'd you say your pick is again?
Kansas
so far-
City and Detroit.
Okay, I could see that. It's just it's never the team you think it is. I don't know. The Lions are a team that either going to go or they're going to have a bad year. I don't know.
They have, in my opinion, I think they have one of the best offensive lines in football. But
They
that
do.
could change. You're right. That could definitely change.
It's always the hot team like that comes out of nowhere. Like look at the Lions last year; they just missed the playoffs. Like
That's
it's
what
gonna
we
be
should
one of
do.
those-
That's what we should do with the pool. We should pick our Cinderella team too. Like, because it seems like, every year there's some sort of a Cinderella team that surprises freaking everybody.
Yeah. Do you want to add that? Do you want to do a bonus
You
team?
get
for
five.
the
You get
Super Bowl?
5 points for picking like the Cinderella team.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Or do you want to keep it the same and keep it 15?
We can if you want. That's fine.
I was thinking 10. I don't know. That's interesting.
Because last year I don't think anybody saw Houston making it to the playoffs.
Right. Are you saying to make it to the playoffs or the Super Bowl?
Well,
Super
usually the Cinderella team makes it to like the playoffs and then gets annihilated at some point.
Right. I don't know. I kind of like it the way it is.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
feel like it's already kind of confusing the way it is, like especially when we had to do all the math last year on who was what. I mean, it would help my dumb ass because I always try to pick the Cinderella teams and they never work out. So, But anyway, there is the other thing I wanted to talk about was the whole thing if somebody misses a game. Like if one of us doesn't fill out a game or if something happens.
Yeah.
Were you fine with the system last year or do you want to change it?
Well, I think there should be a penalty for somebody who doesn't get their pick in, right? I don't know.
So you think it should just be like a loss?
Yeah, if you don't I don't know.
Well, like I said, last year what I was doing was I would go back through all the games before that point, and which team you picked the most, you would either get I don't think like I think I was doing a win. You were getting a win, right? But I feel like the way I should do it
It
is
should
if
be
you
just
pick-
a loss. It should be just if you don't get your pick, and it should be just a loss. I mean, just trying to make things easier for you guys because
yeah, that's fine.
to have to add everything up and do all of this stuff. If you don't,
No, I don't mind. I would rather do that because like a lot of the times it's like not really anybody's fault that they missed the pick. It's like
Right.
a Friday game or whatever. Something happens. I don't know. I think it would be easier, but at the same time, you never picked the Steelers. So if you miss a game with the Steelers, you can pretty much assume who you would have picked for.
what division are you guys playing this year?
We got the West.
Oh, you got. That's not bad.
The NFC West with the Cardinals and them, yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. I think that's a good way to put it. Like, it's not that hard to get some your picks in. I feel like if it would make it easier to just do it a loss, if that's what you want, I'm fine with that. I think that's a good way to do it. Because it's kind of cheap to give somebody a win if they didn't pick the win.
Oh, there's games on tomorrow too. Right.
So yeah, let's just
whatever
do that.
you want to do, man. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's just what I kind of wanted to go over. I like what you said, where it's just a loss. We'll do a loss and we'll keep it the way it is the other way. Yeah, I mean, because the only other way I was doing it was in the regular season. If you missed a pick, I was doing all that. But if you missed a pick in the playoffs, I just didn't count it. It was a loss, but
Right.
I think it's a lot more confusing to do the win-loss thing, and it's kind of cheap anyway. So like, that's fine. That's fine. Were you able to get into the thing easily?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Yeah, I just updated that. So if you want to check that, everything's up there. But yeah, you want to do those now, or you want to keep going over like divisions and shit?
Yep. No,
Are you
let's
gonna
do
pull
the
it?
picks because I'm gonna go get something to eat and then clean what I got to do.
All right. All right, let's do this. All right.
I got the schedule right here. I just don't have the pool schedule.
Yeah, I'm gonna write them down on my phone and then I'll log them in after.
But
so
the
I can
first
stay
game
on the
is-
screen.
That's fine.
All right.
I know the first game's a tough one right off the bat. Right? You got the Thursday night game, Baltimore and Kansas City.
I forgot that Kansas City actually lost to Detroit last year. I thought they won. That's interesting.
Yeah, I remember people saying Kansas City wasn't going to do much because they were having such a tough time last year. Remember that?
Well, they went to like a defensive only scheme. Like they didn't really score a lot of points last year, if you remember. They're interesting.
He's that guy's probably the most underrated coach in all of history. Andy Reid.
Yeah,
Andy
he
Reid
really
such
is.
a good coach.
The defense is just so good. But is that going to translate? I don't think Baltimore's going to have that great of a year this year. I mean, they might make the playoffs. It's just hard to keep, like, it's always the hot team that's coming through the league. Like, the Ravens might win 10 games. Are they going to, like, beat everybody like they were last year, like, and keep that up? Like,
In
if
my
the team
opinion,
doesn't go ahead.
in my opinion, with Baltimore, it all depends on how long Joe Burrow lasts. If Joe Burrow can, stay healthy for the year, I'm picking Cincinnati in that division for sure.
Yeah. All right, but who are you going for that game?
I'm going to take Kansas City. I guess it's at Kansas City. So, I mean, Baltimore plays so good on the road, but I don't know. That's a big game right there. That could be like, home field advantage for the playoffs right there.
Should we pick this next game, or do you think they're not going to make it out of fucking Brazil? The NFL, they're such idiots. Did you hear the whole controversy?
No.
Yeah, so I think they tried to show homage by sending the two green teams down there, like the green and yellow, because that's Brazil's national colors.
Stupid.
But but the gangs are apparently going to be like they can't wear green. Neither team can wear green now because of the gang affiliation thing.
I don't know, man.
Like I love all this international thing, but like something's gonna happen, and it's like what? It's like what now? Now Jordan Love is dead because you guys fucking need to go to Brazil to play a football game.
Honestly, if they're in Brazil, dying is probably the last thing they need to worry about. I mean, I can see guys coming home with like tons and tons of, girlfriend pregnancies over there. Have you ever seen Brazilian women? Oh my God.
Yeah, that is true. I don't think they're going to be able to go out and do their thing. They're saying they have to be in like armored trucks and shit. Like the gangs are really bad down in South America. They really are.
It'd be like 10 Deshaun Watsons down there.
All right, but anyway, if they do make it out of that game alive, I'm gonna go Philly. I think Philly's a dark horse this year. I really do.
Yeah, well, they're gonna. I don't know. I'm probably gonna take Green Bay. I don't know. That's a division there that if Dallas doesn't win that division this year, somebody got to get fired because.
Yeah,
I mean
the Cowboys. Oh my God, they're so awful. To like, they're the funniest. They're the best gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, it truly is.
It doesn't matter how many games they could go undefeated in the regular season. It doesn't matter.
You know what the best thing about the Cowboys is, really though?
What?
Stephen A. Smith. I mean,
Exactly. Hold on, I gotta grab my charger. Hold on. All right. Oh, God. They got smoked by Green Bay. they got smoked. The Cowboys got beat it was like 48-0 at halftime against the Cowboys.
It was just like it's almost like they're doing it on purpose so that Stephen A. can kind of, I don't know.
It's so funny because I don't really watch much TV anymore with like ESPN and Sports Take, but like there'll still be a clip on that goes online of him just ripping the Cowboys with the Cowboys hat on. It's always so good,
especially in the playoffs.
So somewhere Stephen A. is having a good time. Who do you think the Cowboys are going to kill first, Skip Bayless or the owner?
I don't know. Probably Skip Bayless.
He's so dramatic.
It seems like that's the only guy in the NFL that gets a fair shake is Jerry Jones, right? Jerry Jones is such a horrible owner.
Yeah, he is. But I feel like, I don't know, I give guys points that give a crap about their football team and try to, like, I don't know. I'd rather that than some, Jeff Bezos who might buy the Celtics who's not going to be involved.
Right. But you don't hear about any other real owner except for maybe Robert Kraft. I mean, but Robert Kraft knows enough to stay out of, at least he did. I don't know. Maybe he got involved with the Bill Belichick thing later. But Jerry Jones, his face is always like, I agree with you that it's better to have an owner that cares. But Jerry Jones just needs to step back and, I don't know, spend his billions and then just let somebody come in and operate.
Yeah, he's his own problem. He's his own nightmare, but it's hilarious. Like, I don't know, guys like that, even though he's kind of a bad guy, guys like that are good for the league. Whether they're kind of a good guy or kind of a bad guy. Jim Irsay's hilarious.
How long do you think it's going to take, like if the Cowboys get off to a bad start, to start hearing the Dak Prescott hanging stuff?
I don't think it's Prescott's problem. I think the coach is just an idiot.
It wasn't Tony Romo's problem either, and then they got rid of him.
Well, Tony Romo's I think Tony Romo's the most overrated quarterback in the history of the NFL. He's up there with Phillip Rivers. Like, how do you lose a game on the kickoff? I mean, on a field goal.
He has just as many playoff losses as Dak Prescott.
All he had to do was hold the ball against
That's
the
it.
Eagles.
That's it.
And he wasn't even known. Now he's fumbling the ball. They lose the playoff game. That was hilarious.
Can't happen to a better team, bro.
All right. So you said Green Bay for that last one, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta in the Pittsburgh game.
Oh, that's a tough one for you because either way, you're going to get it wrong. I feel
God,
like
yeah.
that's a perfect one for you because it's Pittsburgh again, and the team you can never pick right.
Yeah, definitely. Atlanta's gonna lose, but I'm gonna pick them anyways because there's no way to win that game.
I'm going Pittsburgh in that game.
It's even worse when it's Atlanta and like Carolina or Atlanta at New Orleans.
People forget Russell Wilson was one of the best quarterbacks down the stretch last year. He really was.
That's
They
because he
won
was looking for a job.
Yeah, but he did it. I don't know. I think that he's one of those guys where like he saw Brady go and everyone thought it would be great to like.
Hold on, buddy.
No, you're good.
Stupid dog. I'm barking at people. If you get off that couch, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna get your head back. All right.
What was I saying? Fucking I don't care. Whatever. Whatever. All right, so you took Atlanta?
Yes.
All right.
Atlanta should just stop playing football. That's what they
Well,
should.
they got Cousins now. I don't know. Cousins, if he's playing all the games, they're gonna win 8 to 9 games.
Atlanta's the best place for a quarterback to go to die.
It's just so hard in the NFL. There's like the 2 teams you know are going to be good, and then the 2 teams you know are going to be bad, and everybody's in between. And then all of those teams could either be the 3rd pick in the draft or in the NFC Championship game or AFC Championship game. The parity in the middle of the NFL is so good.
It's so true, though.
Like you think about it, what if Jefferson starts having a couple bad years and it was all Kirk Cousins? I mean, I don't know. So
This
we'll
is a
see.
team. This is a team right here, though, Arizona, that I think can have a good year. I don't know.
They've
why.
been on my radar a little bit too.
That's going to be. I'm going to go Buffalo, but I think Arizona might have a decent year. It all depends on how good the Rams do.
I'm going Arizona.
Really?
Yeah, just because that. Remember when fucking the last time they played Kyler Murray through the Hail Mary?
All right.
Yeah, I think that gives them a little bit of an edge. Those are 2 teams that have a lot of the same players over the last couple of years. You know, Kyler Murray, I think this is his year to kind of.
Wow, this is a tough week.
It is a good week. The hardest weeks to pick are the first 2 weeks in the NFL. It's like you never know.
Right?
I feel like I'm not going to get a single win this week.
It's going to be difficult. I'm telling you right now.
I'm going Tennessee.
Oh, do I want to go Chicago? Oh, man.
I think their coach is a moron.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chicago. There goes
They've
my
got
Super
some
Bowl pick.
defensive players now, though. They do.
Chicago. That's the thing with Chicago. They like had the greatest defense in the last 5 years, and they just can't find a quarterback.
All right, I think we can both pick the next game already.
Yep, that's Cincinnati for sure. We'll probably lose that game too.
They've got off to some slow starts, though. In the
How
Burrow
good do you
era.
think Joe Burrow? I think Joe Burrow's a great quarterback.
You see him with the beach blonde hair?
No, is he gay?
He bleached his hair,
Ugh.
and everyone's going nuts. He looks weird, but I think he looks like he fucking went nuts. He's going nuts.
Concussion much?
Yeah, you never know. This is a tough game to pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Houston. I think.
I'm gonna go Indy.
Really?
I'm telling you. This is another thing about fantasy that I'm saying is like it gives you a good window of how good players are. Like when in the first 3 games last year, Anthony Richardson was better than Mahomes. He was better than any player in fantasy last year before he got hurt. He had a game with like 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. He ran for he's the new Cam Newton. He really is. He's like Josh Allen is kind of like that, but I feel like Richardson is faster. He's more dynamic than Allen, and he's so big. He was
I think
really
it's weird.
good.
Everybody keeps
But-
picking Indianapolis, and they
I don't know. Sometimes you just see glimpses from quarterbacks, and it's like, holy shit. If they can keep it together for, a full season, like, holy shit. Like that, there's so much untapped potential there. That's a gold mine in the NFL. It's those teams that always come from nowhere, like the Lions. Like, where the fuck did they come from?
right. I know that
But anyway.
the Colts have a good defense.
Yeah, they're kind of a couple years removed from that really good defense they had, but they're still solid and reputable. They still got some cornerstone players there.
Like I said, anybody can win that division. Honestly, it's a
It's
pickup.
weird. It's weird. It's like 3 second-year quarterbacks. They were all pretty decent. Throw them into a fucking pot and see which one comes out. Like, I don't know. It's like they're like bingo balls.
I'm taking Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to go Miami too. The Jags are probably going to have a good year, though. All right. Carolina and New Orleans.
Oh my God. Oh,
I'm going Carolina.
New Orleans.
You going New Orleans?
That's another game where it doesn't matter who I pick. I'm going to lose. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, you got a lot to lose. I mean, you've won 5 of these championships in a row. So don't worry. I think you'll be fine. Don't worry. I'll fuck myself over at some point.
New Orleans and Carolina, they play every single week. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird with teams like that. Like they play every year, all the time. All right. I'm going with the Giants in that game.
Whose
next
game of
one.
the week is it?
It's yours.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I'll pick Baltimore and Kansas City then.
You're going Baltimore KC?
Yeah, that seems to be the best game of the week so far.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be, right? They set it up
Oh, the
like that
Jets-
for a reason.
The Jets are going to get off to an 0-1 start. They got to play San Francisco.
Yeah, they're funny. All right. Who'd you go, the Giants or Minnesota?
Let's go to the Giants, I think.
The Who Gives a Fuck Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, that game might be for the number 1 overall pick. Who knows? Daniel Jones keeps doing this thing where he takes a couple years off and then comes back and has a good year. So we'll see.
It's so weird. They paid him all that money, then he stunk.
They just you have to. If a player has a good year, you have to pay him in this league.
know.
It's better than going. It's such a hit to the team and
Where
everybody
did
else.
where
I
did
don't know.
where did Barkley go?
He's with the Eagles.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he went to Philly. In that game, I'm gonna go the Raiders.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're building something weird because it seems like the players are kind of controlling that whole team. It's strange.
The Raiders are going to be like us. They're going to win just enough games to screw themselves out of a good draft pick. It's just bound to happen.
They're building. I could see them having a year like the Lions did last year because they just don't have the quarterback. I mean, you put Goff on that team, like this guy Pierce. You forget they put up 63 points last year on the Chargers, and they got Staley fired. They're weird. Like they're another team that's trying to do this, Antonio
They're just in the wrong
Pierce.
division.
Antonio Pierce is really good. Yeah, he was just in the league, These
Yep.
young player coaches, that these guys in the locker room can really look towards. They almost beat Kansas City twice last year. I think they did beat them once towards the end of the season. They're a team that I can really see come out of nowhere and shock a lot of people because they seem like they're doing that different thing in the NFL with like the Dan Campbell player approach.
Yeah,
like
they got a great running
player.
back. That's for sure.
What's that?
They got a great running back. That's for sure.
Who?
Forget his name.
Jacobs?
Yeah, Jake. Did he leave?
He's in Green Bay.
Oh,
Yeah, they got somebody Zamir White now. He was okay down the stretch last year, but
no, the Raiders are going to be the same as us. They're going to win just enough, just to
right.
They're in the wrong division, bro.
All right, fucking. I'm gonna go Seattle in that next game.
Yeah, this is another big game, but I think Seattle's going to win.
All right.
Seattle seems to be that team where they're going to win just enough games to screw somebody's life, and then you taking Dallas?
I could see Seattle going down, like imploding, and just. I mean, Pete Carroll's a good coach. I think Pete Carroll's a good coach. The way they kind of handled that situation doesn't really like. I don't know how the locker room's going to respond to that. You know, you got a first-year young head coach, defensive guy. Yep. You know, Geno Smith isn't that great. I don't know. If you take the offensive coach that's been helping Geno Smith be good, then what does he revert back to the Geno Smith that was getting punched in the face with the Jets? Like really? I mean, you saw what happened when Russell Wilson left Seattle. How's that looking? Yeah, so you take Pete Carroll away from him. I'm surprised. We'll see. You know, if they catch their stride and they win a couple games early, I think you're right. They'll be like an 8-8 team, but they're a team I can see going down to like the 1 overall pick.
Sean Payton's got his handful in Denver, man. It's
well, this kid Bo Nix is playing really well. He's been like the star of the preseason so far. A lot of people are high on him now. I don't think that really matters because I think you're right. I think these guys like Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh are trying to come back to this league and try to shoot their mouth off and do this or do that like the olden days.
Exactly.
It's not really the same. I mean, these guys want to kill you. Like you can't be giving them bulletin board material. Like I don't know. I mean, it works for Mike McDaniel, I guess, but I don't know.
I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cleveland too.
Oh, here's a game. Oh my God.
This next one, I'm going Tampa.
You're gonna go Tampa?
Why the hell? Really? Who would you have picked? Dan Quinn or Bill Belichick?
I don't know, man.
Okay, let's
put
it this way.
Is all done.
The guy that came back from 27-3, or the guy that lost the lead coming back from 27-3? Because Dan Quinn was the coach of the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm going to take Washington.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like Dan Quinn, really. I don't.
I don't think anybody likes him.
The Commanders. Oh, they're such a disaster.
They are. They really are.
Who knows, though? Who knows? They got the rookie quarterback. He could have a Stroud kind of year, I guess. I don't know.
That division is going to suck so bad.
I'm going to go Detroit.
Yeah, me too.
And I agree. I think that could be the worst division of football.
Washington?
Yeah. Yeah, well, did you hear all the stuff with the Eagles, too? And what happened last year? That whole thing? So do you remember that whole situation where the security guard got thrown out?
Oh, yeah.
That okay, so there's a little like thing that was going on where like, you know, apparently their coach is a hothead. And that guy that got kicked out is one of the guys that's kind of his job was to kind of calm him down and talk to a lot of the players and stuff like that. That's why he was on the field and got ejected. But apparently the story is after he left, Sirianni had a couple like outbursts with players on the
Oh,
team.
Yeah, I
And
remember
that's why like there were some rumblings about him getting fired, Sirianni getting fired. So that situation in Philly is very explosive right now. So it's either going to go one way or the other.
Yeah, I don't think Philly's going to have a good year at all. Just don't.
I don't know. I think they're too good. They're too talented. They got so many players that it's going to be hard for them. But, I mean, now you got a guy like Kelsey leave, who's been a good part of the glue of that locker room. Does it all kind of go down? I mean, that's been a big rumor for Belichick is the Eagles.
Yeah, he might. I mean, I think Jalen Hurts had his good year. You know what I mean? I think he's had his good year, and it's just all going to go down the tubes from here.
Well, what happens now that Kelsey's not getting all the leverage for the tush push? Is it going to work?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to go well for them. But they do. If they got Jacobs, it might. I mean, I'd give the ball to him every single down. That's what I would do.
All right. To
who? Jacobs.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Philly.
Are you talking Josh Jacobs?
Yeah.
No, he plays for the Packers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the Packers. Wait, did I say Eagles?
I don't know. Maybe I said the.
I might have said Eagles because it could make sense because of the matchup this week with the multiple green.
I'm
Either
pretty
way.
sure they have a Jacobs on their team at some point, somewhere. Probably the
Jacob-
water boy.
Jingle Smith. Isn't that how it goes?
Jacob
Something like
Jingleheimer. Oh my god! And I'm not
Okay.
even drinking.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Jets in that next game.
Really?
Yeah, I think that I think it's gonna be like Aaron Rodgers' big night. He finally beats the Niners, and then he has a mediocre year.
No, this is what's going to happen. This guy here, Aaron Rodgers, is probably going to be taken off on the stretcher.
You're right, though. I mean, you're right. Like with the stuff I've been saying about, him getting hurt. I don't know. Week 1 is weird. I like to take the weird storyline with Week 1. It's never quite the best team. It's always like that was like really.
Yeah,
that's Week 1.
One thing
It's
about
like, really?
One thing about the 49ers, though, they do have a good defense. Their defense is probably the best in the league. And I don't know. It's not going to go good for New York, I don't think.
I just look at it like this. You got like 2 or 3 years to be a good team in the NFL. And there's not many teams that can last longer than that. So
Right.
some of these teams that have kind of been at the top are going to start kind of coming down to earth and getting replaced with teams like the Lions and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. I think, like I said, I think there's a lot of good parity in the NFL because between number 3, the 3 overall pick, and the NFC Championship, a lot of those teams could fall either way. I really do think so. You got your Denvers and your Vikings and stuff, but there's not a lot of those teams. I think that every team is talented these days.
I
really-
don't think that teams give coaches and talent enough time to develop.
definitely. I think you're 100% right.
But that's just my opinion. Years ago, you had 2 or 3, even if you were a quarterback, you had 2 or 3 good years to kind of prove yourself. Nowadays, if you're first string, if you draft a quarterback in the first round and he's not good within the first 2 years, they basically just turn the team over. It's so weird.
Yeah, I agree. It's very strange.
That's why
I mean, it's just life these days. It's life. It's the instant gratification. It's, nobody's patient for anything anymore.
that's why I think this is a big year for Tua.
Right.
Tua's really gonna either sink or swim this year, and if he doesn't play well, I think that Miami might have to make a decision on what they want to do with him. But I do respect them for sticking with him for this long. But this, in my opinion, this is a big year for him.
It's just so hard. It's like I want to stick with him too, but not at the money we just signed him for.
Yeah, it's weird how they did that, but I understand why they did that.
You
But
just like it's like the same thing with the Giants. If your quarterback has a good year and the roster likes him, you can't just not trade him and go get a rookie quarterback. It's like that's not how the NFL works anymore. You gotta kind of keep that mediocre guy and hope to God he goes up because there's so many quarterbacks that suck when you draft.
but to give Tua credit, I mean, he has had a lot of different coaches, a lot of different offensive schemes, but other teams have done that too, and they trash the quarterback. I mean, look at Goff. I mean, Goff had a really good year with the Rams, and then they got rid of him.
Right.
It's like,
is it Brian Flores? Was Brian Flores there last year when he shit his pants against the Eagles on national TV for Tua? And he's coming out and blaming Flores. Like, dude, get over it. It's been 2 years.
Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird situation down there, I'm telling you.
So I just hope Tua's head is in the right place. I really do, because I think that's a big part of it. I think he keeps being like, oh, they doubted me. Oh, they doubted me. Okay, well, you're the one that threw the pick against Buffalo. So, and you couldn't get out of your own way. You keep turning the ball over.
He's had like 9 lives with the Dolphins, so I think this is a big year for him. I think it's either sink or swim this year with that guy.
Right. To his credit, last year, can you believe, was his first playoff game?
It's weird. It is. It's bizarre.
So it's been a whirlwind. I do believe in Tua. I think he could do it. I think he just needs to get out of his own head and stop blaming.
I've been the biggest proponent. Yeah.
For where he is. Like, I could see if Flores was just released. Like, we got rid of him 3 years ago now. You've been with Flores for how long? And you're still coming out and bashing Flores. Like, it's time to get over it and go win a playoff game.
I agree.
It wasn't his fault that you threw a pick against Buffalo last year that could have propelled us on a drive that could have propelled us to the second seed. But, you throw the pick and now we got to go to Kansas City. You forget, we almost missed the playoffs last year after starting like 8-3. Like we have really bad ending. And a lot of that is our defense was great at the end of last year.
It's like a train wreck.
It's just like Tua just needs to get out of his own head and stop blaming everything else and then just go throw the football.
I don't know what his problem is. And I've been the biggest proponent for Tua because he didn't do this stuff in college. That's for sure.
Right.
But, the NFL is a different game, man. And, they've given him 9 lives here. That's why I think this is a big year for him because you can only, the coach is only going to wait so long for him to get going. I'm with you. I think he can do it, but they're going to have to make a decision if he doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's the overall team too that, with Mike McDaniel shooting his mouth off all the time and, Tyreek doing these childish things. I think the team as a whole needs to grow up a little bit, doing the end zone dances. Like, it's all fun and games, but can we go win a game in December when it matters? Like, the kid, the like childish attitude, it's got to kind of come down a little bit. And I think that's what they're working on. I hope to God that's what they're working on because that's why Mike McDaniels is such a good coach. It doesn't matter when they play a coach that doesn't know how to stop them. They're going to put up 40 points every Sunday.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a coach, it's every time it comes to a coach that knows what the fuck they're doing, Mike McDaniel's little flair things don't work. And then what do you do? And then we haven't beat a good team in 2 years.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that's because of the offensive line having so many injuries and stuff. I mean, you start a team with your offensive line at the beginning of the year.
But like I said, we don't use our offensive line. I'm telling you, like, we're all outside zone. We run the ball outside zone all game long.
Yeah, that could be because of the injuries, though. If you have injuries on your offensive line, now you got to do something else.
We just had a guy signed for $100 million though that came from nowhere. Like we've had good play. I'm telling you, like I said, like the offensive line is tough because it's like bullpen guys. Nobody in the league has enough offensive line. If you have an offensive line, you're like one of 30 teams.
Right.
Can you have a couple solid players and can you be average? That I feel like that's where I look at the offensive line thing. But especially with us, like I said, like that's why we pay so many receivers so much money and so many corners and stuff because our whole philosophy is don't worry about the offensive linemen. We can draft guys, throw them in there. Because it's all trap. It's all outside zone. It's all going laterally.
Right.
So
well, I continue to say every year that, back in the day when I was just talking about this with somebody else. Back in the day when Terry Bradshaw and all these other guys played quarterback, you had a good five. Some of those guys had like 5-step drops. I mean, you had good 5 or 6 seconds to get rid of the football. Nowadays, you got 2 or 3. So it's not always the offensive line. If you got a quarterback that can't read the defense and doesn't get rid of the football or do something to get outside of the pocket in 3 seconds, you've got a bad team. It's just not going to work.
Right.
The defenses are just too quick.
Yeah, so you're looking at the offensive line as like from a pass blocking perspective rather than run scheme.
Yeah, running's the same kind of way. I mean, running
I see what you're saying now.
Running the football is kind of the same way. Like you brought up Le'Veon Bell a little while ago, and he was really good at, holding up that 1 second just to get your block to.
He was awesome at that.
The
waiting and reading the offensive line. Yep.
You got the same problem these days. You got really good running backs, and then you got really bad running backs. If you don't let the play develop, it's on the offensive line. But sometimes you gotta go with the play. If the play is to off left tackle, you got to do that. Some of these guys try to create too much before they. It's so weird.
Right. All right.
Yeah, we're good. This was good.
Okay. Hold on. So you got KC. I just want to go over who you took again real quick. So you got KC, Green Bay, Atlanta, Buffalo, Chicago, Houston, Miami, New Orleans, Giants, Raiders, Seahawks, Browns, Lions, Niners.
Yep.
Perfect. I can't believe it's almost a week away. I can't believe it.
When is the first game? 2 weeks, right?
Yep. I'm so excited. Well, like a week and a half because it's on Thursday. And
I'm telling you, I'm more excited about basketball season this year than I am football season. But
I don't know.
Maybe that's because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, football. It's just I'm so ready. Football is so great.
What do you think the Lakers are going to do?
I don't know. I saw some like in Felger and Maz, they say brown check mark, some random thing that said Golden State's trying to get Curry traded to the Lakers. I don't know. The Lakers are weird. Like, how the hell? Like, they've had a crappy roster for years, and all of a sudden they went to the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago. Like, Braun is weird. Braun is running as the GM, and he's the worst GM in sports.
Do you think that because I remember last year or so they were saying he might go back to Cleveland. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, no, he signed. I thought he signed.
He signed for the Lakers.
I think so. I want to say he signed at the start of free agency. Yeah, because we had a bet. We had a bet for him to go back to Cleveland for like $500, and it didn't happen.
I hope they all die in a plane crash. That's what I.
Yeah, I was gonna say die. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. Like, that's what kind of LeBron has done his whole career, is like win a couple championships, run the team into the ground, and go on to the next team. Like, seriously, he always needs the GM stuff, and then the GM stuff, he just runs the team right into the ground.
I mean, he's got it made in Los Angeles, though. He's got, deals up the ass. He doesn't really have to do much. He plays basketball. Where else? Why would he go back to Cleveland? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I think the big thing with him was if he could get his son. I don't know. Does this USA thing kind of revitalize him and have him run him into a good year? I don't know.
First of all, I don't think he's the problem in LA. I think it's Davis. Myself personally, I think you can only go so far with him because you never know when he's going to get hurt, right?
Well, they're a team that's weird. They have all these players that play well, and then they just suck. Like D'Angelo Russell was playing okay, and then all of a sudden he just can't. All of a sudden, he's getting benched in the playoffs. Like,
it's the same thing with Philly. Like if Embiid's not there, they're just not the same team. It's same with Davis. If they got the two of them going pretty good, they can probably find people to go around them. But I mean, you just never know when Davis is going to get hurt.
Well, they keep trying to. Well, the thing with Davis is at least he'll try to make it back for the playoffs, and he normally does. I think the big problem with the Lakers right now is they keep trying to get a big star, and I think that the stars see how they treated Russell Westbrook,
Right.
and they go, "Why would I want to go do that?" Because Bron's gonna carry the ball he's gonna dribble the ball the whole time anyway. He's gonna have the ball the whole time. As a point guard or a guard, I can't really get into my rhythm doing that, But I think you're right. I think it's more Anthony Davis, because even though I said he does kind of try to make it back for the playoffs, he does have a lot of times where it's like he's out for the whole season, so you can't make the playoffs if you're out the whole season. Like they're also
I think
playing
it's going to be. I think it's probably going to be the same two teams this year. I think it's going to be Boston and Dallas again. Either that Boston and Dallas or Boston and Oklahoma, something like that.
I like San Antonio. I think Wemby's legit. I think Wemby's real legit. They got a lot of players too. A lot of underground players that have been playing well there for a couple years.
All right, buddy. I love you, pal. I'm going
All
to
right.
go get some food. And
All right, bro.
we'll do this again next week, bro.
Yeah, I'm probably going to tinker. I'm going to throw them all on there, and I'll tinker with them a little bit over the next couple of weeks. But it was good we got it done. We went over the rules. I agree. I think the best way to do it is just if you miss a pick, you miss the pick. Because over a season you can make it up.
Right.
We really shouldn't be missing picks anyway.
True.
Yeah, and keep it the same with the 15. I mean, those are the really only two things we have for the league going. Game of the week is great.
Something's telling me it's going to be a really long year.
Well, you know what it is over the last couple of seasons too is everyone's been getting hurt. Everyone's so excited for football. People keep getting hurt. Half the league is hurt after they've added one more game. So
I think that's the biggest thing in preseason now. Just get through the preseason without anybody getting hurt. I think that's the goal.
I mean, last year 15 teams had backup quarterbacks play at some point. Like the league is really bad. Everyone's getting hurt
Because it's not just
of
the
18th
starters.
game.
It's not just the starters you got to worry about getting hurt. It's the backups too. So, everybody says, well, put the backups in. Well, you don't want them to get hurt either because, I mean, who's going to be a backup if the starters get hurt? So it's just
Right.
a weird thing these days.
All right.
All right, buddy. I love you, pal.
Yeah, I'll keep in touch if I figure anything else out, and we'll get caught up more closer to the matchup, the first game against the Ravens and the Chiefs.
All right, man.
All right.
Good luck,
Love you
buddy.
too. I'll
Tell
catch you
Amber
later.
Tell Amber I said hi.
I will.
All right, buddy.
Wait, have I told you where she's working now?
No.
She's working at Dunk's.
Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah.
Which one?
She's actually working at the one in the hospital in the hospital.
Oh,
So it's kind of nice. She doesn't have to deal with all the the people in the morning and all that crap.
we should go there and give her a hard time.
We should prank call her. But no, I was gonna say it sucks, but maybe one night I come up, I can go get the coffees from her for free and bring them up or something for you. I'm not kidding. She can get anything free. It's awesome.
You can come up, buddy, anytime you want, man.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see when the dogs are good. Yeah,
When the dogs are dead, yeah.
when the smashing plates.
All right, buddy. I love you,
No,
pal.
it's all good. We'll figure it out. All right, I'll talk to you later, Dad.
All right, man. Bye.
Right.
All right, so we are done for the picks of the week. It's always good with me and my boy going over the picks for the week. Just a quick note. Cleveland is losing to, let's see here. Got to go Gamecast. Cleveland's losing to Seattle 17-10, and it's still, let's see here. It's only the second quarter, so 5:18. So anyways, that's it. We're going to get out of here. I'll be back on with my live for the true crime stuff later on my other channel. Good luck, everybody. Have a good night.